Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Dalton, back at it again with the favorite ginger.
Hey, it's Tuesday. Feeling pretty good today. Tuesday.
Not Monday.
No. So we're live streaming again. Hello. We live streamed our first ever episode. Oh, I'm doing great. That was live streamed last week, and Dalton gets to sit here in the corner laughing at me. And that was really fun. We had a great time with that. If you haven't watched the archive version of that, you totally should. Thank you if you're joining us live at any part of this live stream. If you missed it and you're watching the archive, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss next week's stream. Yeah. Is that all the intro-y stuff?
Well, you did forget about the following us on Instagram. Join our Discord. Give us ideas for other live streams. And
I'm just going to say, I tease this stream in Discord. So if you're not in our Discord, you'll never know ahead of time what we're talking about.
True story. But now let's get into the topic we're talking about. Besides the fact that you can read it in the title.
You totally can.
But we're going to be talking about why we think Dragoborne is failing.
So, sign of where the game's at right now. I'm concerned about doing an episode like this because I don't want to make people mad, right?
You don't want to why Schwartz.
We don't want to why
Part
Schwartz
2?
sucks. Oh my god! If you've never seen our why Schwartz videos, you need to. They're old, but they're good. That was fun and all, but I don't like to get communities angry. But this is a controversial statement. I don't think there are that many people to get mad.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about Dragoborne and why the game is not doing as well as it could be. Whether or not it's dead/dying is up to your interpretation, but we'll get into that. I think we should start with the history of the game. Because
has a history?
Yes.
Okay.
In true fashion, most card games are determined their success by their launch. You need to get the ball rolling, so to say. You need to start off good, or the game won't gain traction. This is why Dragon Ball Super has been one of the reasons Dragon Ball Super has been such a success is it had a fantastic launch, right?
Dragon Ball. So
Buddy Fight back in the day had a really good launch. Vanguard had an excellent launch. Those are games that might not necessarily be the number one trading card game in the world, but they exist years after launch. And, in Dragon Ball's case, we're speculating, but I assume it will be.
Hopefully.
Unless Bandai's stupid. On the other side of the coin, you have games like Kaijudo and Luck and Logic.
Hey.
Now, Kaijudo had an okay launch. It was not great, not bad. That was more like, entropy was the issue there. It just stopped moving after it started. Luck and Logic had... Dalton likes Luck and Logic. I'm sorry, Dalton. I'm going to say this, and it's going to hurt. Luck and Logic had the worst launch of a trading card game I've ever seen.
All right, that's it. You're doing this by yourself.
Oh, he's leaving. Guys, ask Dalton to come back. Oh, Dalton's just straight up gone. Oh, he's ranting in the corner about Luck and Logic. I'm sorry, Dalton. Come back. While we're waiting for Dalton, I'm checking the chat. Everyone's asking about my fabulous hair and how I got a haircut. Yes, I got a haircut. It was getting too long. So hello to everyone who's joining us. I think, yes, he's coming back. I won't say anything bad about Luck and Logic for the rest of the episode, I think. Luck and Logic, cool game, had a bad launch, though. And, it in English only lasted 4 sets. Is that right?
Correct.
How many sets did it last in Japan? Like 6, 7,
Didn't follow
maybe.
Japan.
I don't know. It lasted a little longer. I don't know. You guys can tell me. Is it still going on? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it got canceled in Japan too. But we're talking about Dragoborne. And the weird thing here is I would say that Bushiroad did pretty much everything right with Dragoborne's launch. Dalton?
You could say so.
Okay. So things it did right. One, there was a lot of hype built up from the start. The game got leaked under that like Project DB, I want to say was like, or something like that, like a code name, and we just had
DB.
What were the letters? Anyone who knows, let us know. I can't remember. But people were really hyped for it just from that and the couple still images we got. And then like the announcement trailers came out and they did a really good job as like painting it as an epic war. And they had like the animated scenes for it, which looked really cool. And were done by, I want to say they were done by the animation studio behind One Punch Man.
Ooh.
Like they look really cool. And, they really pushed the fact that the game was made by Mike Elliott, pushing that over and over, clearly trying to get the Magic crowd in.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave out tons of demo decks. We even were able to get access to some demo decks from an LGS in our area.
Sure, yeah.
Which is how we did our videos, like tutorializing / playing it, and giving our first experiences of the game. That was months before launch. That's really cool. Additionally, they released a full series of videos on the YouTube channel explaining how to play incredibly comprehensively. Like you watch the 7-8 part series and minus specific detailed timings and stuff, everything. It was stellar. I really have to give Bushiroad credit for that, right?
Fair enough, yeah.
I mean, did you ever watch those videos?
No.
But you played with the demo decks, and the demo decks were pretty cool, and they even came with like exclusive versions of cards and stuff, and the dice were okay.
Yeah, the dice, that's a different story.
They were kind of neat, and I thought the game would do okay. I did not see it being, smash hit, but I thought it would be, another like at the level of like Buddy Fight and Y Schwartz. Where it's
hold up.
Sales.
All right, I'll let it slide.
Because like both games consistently have decent sales, and I'm sure they make a good chunk of profit, but they're not, exploding with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of players everywhere, like a Magic or a Pokemon. But it really has not gotten to that level. And I'd say set 1, I'm not a distributor. I'm not a LGS. I'm not anything. This is purely anecdotal experience. Set 1 sold okay, right?
No, the numbers off the top of my head.
I'd say set 1 sold okay. I think set 2 sold even better.
Mm-hmm.
And then set 3, no. I don't think anyone's buying set 3 at all. I mean, the Dragoborne community started up pretty quick. Lots of community groups. It's got a very active Reddit, actually. I think it has 2 different subreddits.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
The North America group, created by, good friend Jonathan Midham. Ugh. Wow, that was bad.
Way to butcher the name.
I know, right? I was a part of it from like day one. And before it was even called Dragoborne, I was in the group. And, people were getting pretty hyped about it. And I remember when set 1 dropped, people were posting their polls and stuff like that and starting to workshop decks and everything you'd need from a healthy card game.
Yes.
But then it stopped.
But why?
That's a good question. We've experienced games that have died before.
Don't remind me.
Several. We know what it's like. And Dragoborne is showing the same signs as a lot of those games. But let's talk why. Why is the game dying? Or, stagnant. Like, best case scenario, I'd say it's stagnant. And stagnant card games don't last very long. In order to keep your card game going, you need to continue increasing player numbers. If you don't increase player numbers and you just keep the players you got initially, let's say every week one person leaves the game and no one's filling in their spot, what are you going to do? The player base will drop. I would say it is not at the point where people are, mass migrating for the game. Maybe they will be after this video. Oops.
Good job, Jones.
Oops.
Good job.
But I would say that the game is stagnant. Would you say that's a fair statement?
It's a hard statement for me to agree or disagree upon.
Okay, well,
mainly for the fact that we never truly got hooked into it ourselves.
Speed Robo says it's because of dice. We'll talk about it.
We'll get to the dice. Don't worry, Speed Robo. But to be honest, well, let me not get in too far because I might go on a tangent. Let's not do that yet. Continue, Jones. Continue.
Let's go over the reasons the game. Well, I don't know. Should we go over the reasons the game's dying or our evidence that it's dying first?
You start with your reasons, and then you provide the evidence.
I'm confused. No, all right, so
you state one reason, then you present evidence of said reason.
That's how you debate. Reason number one that the game has been stagnant. Set one.
Set one.
Set one was actually a really cool set, and I'd say each of the colors was relatively balanced, which is important when you start a game. You don't want certain cards to be super OP. There are a couple of cards in the higher rarities that were probably a little too good. I don't remember the name, but the four, I'm going to call them double rares for now on, just so you know. But when I say double rare, I'm referring to the 4 symbol silver cards. Right?
No. Silver
gold.
Is 3.
Gold.
The golds, yes.
The rarity system makes a ton of sense, but it's hard to describe to other people.
It's hard to describe and it's hard to show.
I'm going to call them double rares. That's just what I'm comfortable with and have been used to. So I'm going to call them double rares. Just know that's what I'm talking about. There were a couple that were a little too powerful. That green one, super good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say the game was pretty balanced, and the 3 trial decks that came out for it were all pretty good. And trial decks are arguably, in my opinion, more important for the start of the game than the actual booster sets. So, they got, I'd give them a B on the trial decks, but I have to give them a C on the first booster set. And there's one simple reason for it.
Nothing to distinguish out anything else besides those symbols.
Yes.
That's my main problem with it, at least.
Because we cracked a decent amount of the first set. I bought only a couple packs loose, and you bought like 1 box, I'd say.
And then 1 box, and then we did pack wars.
Then we did pack wars of it. The 4-star cards, the double rares, did not come with any sort of foiling to them.
It's not necessarily foiling to me. It's more of a standout quality. Besides the little symbols, they do kind of errata this in later sets, but it's more of, oh look, I have a card that looks like the rest of them in a sense. Is it better? Is it a high rarity? What's good with it?
Mm-hmm. There needed to be a separation. I mean, I'm one for super shiny, amazing, covered in gold and glitter and holographic and glow in the dark and ghost rare, and I love all that stuff.
That's a lot of shit going on.
I know. But you don't have to have it go crazy. You can just have a nice little foil, or even like a broken glass foil is okay. But nothing on them, whether or not the cards are powerful or not, makes them feel less premium. Like I remember we'd crack open packs or the box from Pack Wars and we go, okay, we total up the value, and it was actually really hard when the game came out to not make your money back from a box.
Oh yeah, it was.
It still kind of is, even for now with set one. Like it's still really easy to at least break even.
Mm-hmm.
The problem though is we'd have our cards and like be sitting at our LGS or the wonderful Frost Giant Games LLC. And people would be looking at them and be like, these are nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, when you're getting beat in the foil game by Magic the Gathering, you're doing something wrong.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That shots fight.
Yeah.
Oh, calm yourself.
Yeah. No, seriously. Magic's not great for foils, but they're leaps and leaps and leaps and leaps and bounds ahead of what Dragoborne was at. Granted, you could get the cards in foil, but they weren't guaranteed, and there were plenty of boxes with 0 double rare foils. And then there were the like super shiny banner cards. Can't comment on those because I've never physically seen one.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had been 1 per box, sure, it would decrease their value on the secondary market, but I think that would have increased incentive to crack boxes.
Maybe.
It's complicated. So that's one issue, and I think it's a bigger issue than people think. But to give them credit, they fixed it.
They did with set 2.
Set 2, all the double rare 4-star or 4, those cards, they came foiled. And instead of having non-foil and a special foil version, you now have foils and crazy foils with texture on them. Dalton pulled 2 of them. Was it in Pack Wars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was in the Pack Wars we did of set 2. He pulled them. They look awesome.
So sexy. So.
So I'll give them credit. They fixed that. To be, a little knock against it because those are not guaranteed in a box. They're actually still quite hard to pull, but vast improvement.
Always trying to find the negative.
Yeah. I'm a little pessimistic with stuff like that. When I'm spending $60 to $80 on a box, I want to be able to nitpick.
I guess.
All right. So, we've avoided it long enough. Let's talk about the thing that's probably the most controversial.
The backs. Oh, wait. That wasn't
No.
it, was it?
No, the backs are fine.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it again?
The dice.
The
entire main mechanic of the game. All right, so when we first found out it was a dice-focused trading card game, I got scared because card games that primarily rely on something random don't work as card games. The 2 examples I have are, 1, the Pokemon trading card game. Successful game, not because of its gameplay. Its gameplay has a lot of random chance elements to it, and you can negate that by running certain combinations or whatnot, or just playing smart and using the averages to your advantage. But overall, the gameplay, in my opinion, is not that fun. I love collecting the cards, but I'm attacking every card game today, aren't I? I should stop.
You're not going to stop. We already know this.
But no, I don't like the gameplay of the Pokemon trading card game because there's a lot of random chance in it that doesn't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
In an otherwise probably would be fun game that, granted, is not very interactive whatsoever, but it essentially becomes a resource management game, which can be fun. And the other one is the one that I'd actually point to for Dragoborne's failings, especially when it comes to competitive play. And I'm getting niche here. The Pokemon trading figure game. Guys, let me know in the comments or in the chat if you even know what I'm talking about. So they did this thing. It was like 2006, 2007, where they were spinning top figures, kind of like HeroClix figures. It's a figure game. But the problem was every single action was determined by random chance. And that's fine if you're playing something casual. But what baffled me at the time, and still baffles me today, is the fact that they pushed this as the new meta thing. They had actual tournaments for it and stuff. And one, you don't do meta play for something so random. Yes, all card games have some element of random chance, right? I mean, I bricked in top 4. I've bricked in top 4 before at a regionals tournaments. It happens, right? There's always that element, but this was all luck. It was like 90% luck, right? And one, that brought in the element of random chance, making games feel not fair or not competitive. But two, it also invited a whole heap of cheating. A huge amount of cheating.
But I don't need to cheat. I just know how to roll them dice right.
Right. And Dragoborne, I've not heard anything about people cheating in the game, but it is a concern. Well, what if someone's playing with loaded dice or something? Granted, that won't be the case if you're using the official ones, though the official ones were also really bad.
The first ones. The second series ones are better.
Once again, there was an issue with the dice where they'd have holes on the inside and they would roll on a particular number more than they should. They were unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to fix that, the only way to fix that really, because that happens in the manufacturing process, but those dice really should not be used for competitive play. Casual play, they're probably okay and you don't have to sweat it. But the best thing you can do is have translucent dice. And sure enough, with the 4th trial deck, included translucent dice. Good on you guys.
In the second booster set too.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, another example of Dragoborne fixing its issues. But my argument is twofold here. One, the changes they made were too late. You can't start off when you're launching a new card game at C level, like the letter C, not, and
I think we get it.
Rise to be an A level game. That doesn't work. You need to start at A or like above A rank and continue there, or maybe decline a little. Sure, it happens. But you need to start with your best foot forward, and Dragonborn did not. Second of all, competitive players won't touch the game with a 10-foot pole. Technically speaking, I entered in regionals for Dragonborn.
You did?
Yeah, but also didn't. I'm like, no, Christian, you play instead. But I was technically the one who was going to be entered, but then we swapped, and Christian played instead of me. But like, no one who was there, even the people with good decks that weren't just trial decks, half the people playing at trial decks, right? The people who built out their decks, Cleo had a great deck, right? Even he was like, yo, man, I don't really care that much about competitive Dragoborn. I'm just here maybe to get some prizes or whatever.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's really sad when a tournament that can pull, 100 people roughly for Weichwurz and Buddy Fight and hundreds for Vanguard pulls under 10 for Dragoborn.
Yeah, it does kind of suck. But maybe we'll change with time. Who knows? Or it might just fall off
I think
the face of the earth.
core concept is the second problem. When you introduce luck into a game, granted, I'll give them the credit that it wasn't totally luck-based. Because what I liked about the design of the dice is no matter what you roll, you're getting something. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, you want to roll the lower numbers, right?
True.
But most of the time, you wanted a specific roll. And that kind of sucked. Now, if they had treated it more like you always get something good no matter what you roll, but it's something different each time, more like, a card draw. I don't know. Maybe it could have been better, but that fundamental mechanic really held them back, I think.
No, I always liked the idea, but that's myself. What else you got for us? You're leading this thing.
Those are the big downsides, I think. Honestly, I think it's really just that. It doesn't take much to kill a card game. It really doesn't. Which is why, everyone who's investing heavily into card games needs to, really have your ear to the ground of your card game. Because small little things build up with time. Dragonborne did some great things, and it continues to do some great things. it showed Bushiroad actually knows how to improve themselves, which they've struggled with their other card games, with actually improving them. Generally, they make them worse. But they generally fixed the issues that Dragoborn had. If Dragoborn had, I don't know, been delayed a couple months, also, that's another factor because it came out so close to Dragon Ball Super's release.
Well, to be
Exodus.
fair, to be fair on that point,
And Caster Chronicles.
we knew about Dragoborn before we knew about Super.
We did.
So therefore, they really didn't have a choice. They're like, we got this game coming out. We have this day planned out. There shouldn't be any other competition around this time. And then all of a sudden,
praise the Sunny DS if the game's really that bad. The game's actually pretty fun at a casual level.
Mhm.
I like the strategy of placement of your cards. The ambush mechanic's really, really cool. The forts are
what are you
fun.
talking about? They got that in Buddy Fight.
Ambush. The strategy of board placement and your mana curve is something that Bushiroad's never really, to my knowledge, experimented with. I mean, a little with Luck and Logic, but it feels really cool. The other thing I really like is just the concept of the game itself. It's very much Western meets Eastern. It's a Western card game, but it's also a Japanese card game. It's this really cool fusion between the two. You get the mana curve and the slow tempo-based gameplay of Magic the Gathering, mixed with some of the flashiness and some of the art. We'll get to the art, actually. The flashiness and the interactivity of more Japanese-style card games. The art is the other example of that. I've really surprised at how good the art was. I don't think I ever saw a Dragoborn card that I did not like the art of. It was all fantastic. And they balanced the more waifu-y anime style cards with the more Western fantasy dragons and golems and dark creatures perfectly. I was incredibly impressed by that. And the card art is big and beautiful. And when you do get the super amazing foil cards, they look, can't be beat. So there's a lot that Dragoborn did right. Would you say? What did you like about Dragoborn?
What did I like? It's hard to say. I'd probably have to say the art style, because I was always on the fence with Dragoborn. I wasn't 100% with it, mainly for the fact of the whole dice thing kind of coming in. But after playing it, dice aren't too bad, but definitely the artwork.
You know, there is the parts of it they couldn't help. They happened to release at a very similar time to Dragon Ball Super, which turns out ended up being a smash hit, which kind of did eclipse it, especially since they're, I don't want to say too similar, but they are slightly similar styles of game. You know, they're both mana curve games. And the Magic community was what Bushiroad was trying to grab. They weren't going for you and I, right?
What?
Hands down, Bushiroad was trying to steal the Magic community. And it makes sense. You know, there are always going to be people in a game that are getting sick of it or leaving it, or, you know, maybe Standard's at a bad place at the time. It's a smart strategy to try and go after another card games crowd. The problem is, you know, Force of Will did that and got some very big initial success. Started very successful, right? It did it for Magic, but it also stole a lot of players from Vanguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huge for a while. Force of Will dying is a whole nother topic I'm not going to unravel today.
They might be forcing it.
Yeah, don't force it, man. But the thing with it is people from the Magic community did get interested in a new card game released, Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, and we definitely did see signs of this over at our locals for sure. But
I think the biggest problem is, in order to get those people to gravitate from one game to another, you need what I call ambassadors. I am very much an ambassador for the Dragon Ball Super card game. I know people in the Magic community in our local area and said, hey, you really need to check out this Dragon Ball Super thing. It's really cool. Plays very similar to Magic, but has some changes that are really interesting, right? And for the most part, that worked. We have plenty of people in our local community for Dragon Ball Super who came from or still play Magic. Not the case for Dragoborne. And I think part of it is Bushi did not do a great job at running events at smaller local game stores. So they hit a lot of the big name ones, but they did not move through a lot of the smaller towns or cities. And I don't know.
Well, I think you've ranted on long enough.
I've ranted plenty.
Because let's be fair, it was really just Jacob's rant on Dragoborne and Dalton just to add a little flavor. But I think we should probably start wrapping up. Any final thoughts?
Game's fun. If you're into it, don't get mad that we're not saying it's necessarily bad. We're saying it's got issues, and I would not be investing in the game.
Fair enough.
All right, would you invest more money into the game? Do you see it in a good place or a bad place? It's mostly been my opinion in this. Let's hear the Dalton thoughts.
Dalton's trying to stick to 2 games, so therefore Dragoborne has already been kicked out.
Right, 2 games.
But above that...
Y Schwartz and My Little Pony, the trading card game.
Don't make me homer you, man. Why you little... Okay. But above all that, these are our opinions. This is our thoughts, really. If you want to send us a counter argument or something, please do. I would love to see your counter arguments on this, because we all know it's really just towards Jacob.
There are also a ton of cool comments we've been getting in the live chat.
And you haven't been hitting them up?
No,
what's up with that?
Blade Breaker 10 pointed something out. The fact that you start with 3 mana at the beginning.
It's quite nice.
Fantastic gameplay idea. Very great. Gets rid of the early slow turns. I love that mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Dang it, now I lost track of where I was.
Probably out.
Jacob, go rant again. No.
Whoa! Blah, 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 blah.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell to get the notifications.
We're on that road to 2,000 subscribers, guys.
On our road to 1,500. Let's keep it small.
Okay.
Keep it small.
1,500 subscribers, guys.
Make sure to like this video. Share it with your friends after the live stream's done and it's in the archive and all that good stuff. Join our Discord so you can get a little snippets of future live streams. I was supposed to say live post.
What?
I don't know why.
What?
Live streams, send some ideas, send some topics we could talk about.
Also, if you're in the chat right now talking with us, I'm going to be continuing this discussion after the fact on our Discord, in our general chat. So start talking with us there. If you're not in our Discord yet, join and just say, hey, I want to talk Dragoborne.
Maybe you should open up a temporary little chat room for Dragoborne chat.
Ooh.
Thoughts?
Ooh.
Follow us on Instagram because we post some lady things sometimes. At least I think so. Anything else, Jacob?
Have a nice day or night.
And above all else, stay classy, y'all.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.